The video for January the 11th, 2017 is titled Awakening to the Great Deceptions. For many years now, I have explored the way the world works, not as we are told by the establishment, by what is likely happening behind what we see. I realize that we have been lied to about practically everything, with just enough truth thrown in to keep us off balance. Probably the greatest of all deceptions, other than the spiritual one, relates to the financial system. It's all fraud, folks. For decades, our money has been debt instruments backed by nothing. It's all a scam perpetrated by the Rothschilds and their minions. Thankfully, people are beginning to wake up. We are finally learning to look for the ones behind the curtain who have been pulling the strings. Debt is fiction. If it had any reality to it, it would be reversed. Those who control the system are the real debtors, and we, the people, are the actual creditors. All value comes from us, not them. Indeed, I've been looking at a bunch of things recently, and because of the financial system and the fraud in the financial system, the whole world has been taken over, namely bought by the same criminal element that we refer to as the Rothschilds. And I posted another video, not the one that I made, but about the Rockefellers. And interestingly enough, the Rockefellers, some of the things that they said a while back, not in the current generation, but the previous generations, were actually quite decent. But the monetary control of the world has eked its way into everything, including the religions and including the business enterprises that we know as corporations. And they have corporatized virtually everything, including us, because a corporation cannot do business with a human being. A corporation can only do business with another corporation. So we have been demoted from being human to being corporate entities. That's what your name in all capital letters means. I know this sounds like a broken record to those who've been listening to me for any period of time, but it's something that by and far and large, the world still hasn't awakened to. So we have to become more awakened to the way that we've been controlled by these establishmentarians who want to be the boss. They want to be in charge. They want to have the power. And they literally do it through the monetary system, which is the greatest of all deceptions. Wealth, really, even gold and silver aren't wealth, but at least they're tangible, and it's something that we consider to be valuable. But the real value is always in us as human beings, our ability to create, our ability to manufacture things and participate in what we consider commerce, that is dealing with each other. And we don't need money to do that, but it would be a really huge leap to go from having money to having no money. So I think there's going to be a bridge somewhat in between here, hopefully, that will allow those of us that see the reality of how things are supposed to work, at least to a degree that we see them. Nobody sees it perfectly, but allows us to have the wealth and to be able to create a system that allows people to finally discover who they are without being caught in the rat race of always chasing after money, trying to survive. Survival should be guaranteed. We're born on this planet. It's a planet of plenty. There's enough to go around for everything. It's been very poorly managed, but that's because it's been managed by people who have a vested interest in bringing down the population so that they can control the people more efficiently and eliminate as many of the people, useless eaters they call us, as they can, so that they can have only two classes, themselves and slaves. So I want to see one class, all of us who are free individuals who are on the road to remembering who we are and rediscovering what our talents, gifts, and abilities are, and using those talents, gifts, and abilities to bring prosperity to everyone. We thrive not by hoarding, but by sharing, by giving, by distributing all of the talents, gifts, and abilities and the proceeds from those talents, gifts, and abilities to those that are in need. And the intent is to help them grow up. Now, somebody planted this idea that the earth is overpopulated. And I keep hearing that again and again and again. We've got to reduce the population. That's nonsense, folks. That's nonsense. The world, if we were to put our energies toward fixing some of the problems in the world, like drought and deserts and things where there doesn't seem to be any productivity, we could literally turn the deserts into veritable gardens of prosperity. And there are places in Australia and other places in the world where this has already been done. And yet in some places in the United States, it's a crime to grow your own food. They actually come and they'll tear up your gardens because they don't want you to be able to become self-sufficient. Why? Why is that such a threat? Well, because they want to control everything. And if you become self-sufficient, you don't need them. And we don't need the powers that have been. They have been fictional creations and masterful deceivers, and they have moved into a world and created a world of total fiction, total lies, and nothing backs it up more than the greatest of all deceptions, which is the financial system. We don't need money. We're going to learn that. I don't know how many generations it's going to take. It shouldn't take a whole lot of generations once we actually get off the going around and around and around in circles that the Illuminati and the elite have us going around in, and we start moving in a singular direction of regaining that which we have had stolen from us and remembering who we are and what our talents, gifts, and abilities are and developing those. Because when we develop them, we will be able to change not only our individual lives, but the whole world. The whole world is what it is because of the great deceptions, because of the manifold lies that we've been told and believed that have diminished our capability, have diminished our ability to recognize who we are deep inside. And we don't know. That's one of the big problems. We don't know who we are. We've been taught that we are nothing, that we come from apes, and that we are stupid, and they treat us like we're stupid. Our education dumbs us down, not enriches us. I mean, if you give a final exam, if you look at the final exams that were given to eighth grade students in 1900, most college graduates, or at least most college students, would be unable to pass that exam because we've been so dumbed down generation after generation. They keep whittling it down, whittling it down, whittling it down, because they want to create workers. They don't want to create people that have knowledge, that they can actually become creators and find ways to do things more efficiently and better. We will be moving into a world, I believe, if my vision is correct and what I understand is correct, where we don't have to labor for hours and hours and hours every week to survive. We each do a little piece of what work is required, and we all contribute toward the whole. And we won't need money as the means of survival. We will need cooperation. And when we get to that point, the deceptions will fall away, and we will be on the road to the greatest discoveries and the greatest prosperity that we've ever even dreamed of. And there will be no more elite, because we will all be children of the living God. We will all be elite, if you want to put it that way. Anyway, that's the things that I wanted to share with you today, and I do appreciate your listening, and thank you very much. Namaste.